I don't know who's here. Oh, it looks like Robert. Robert's here, Steve's here, Paul's here. Apparently they were here, but they have left. I'm just finishing up getting my preparatory stuff. You're going to notice that I walk with a pronounced limp right now. I will explain that momentarily. I'm trying to get everything put together so that we can do this. I'm going to take you guys with me to the other part of the living room. The puppy dog, the new puppy, absolutely tried to kill me over the weekend. Nico and his wife Bridget came down. I'm limping my way into puppy jail. Antimatter, what's up? So I'm gonna have to say, even if I was trying to go to a Blade show this year, I probably wouldn't be able to go because I have to do physical therapy every afternoon. I was here at the house. Bridget, Nico, the Hobbit, you guys know the Hobbit, they came. Him and his wife came. And, you know, we've got the new puppy and everything. They wanted to see the new puppy. And so we were hanging out here, and the new puppy has this thing that he likes to do where he plays in his water dish. And we're trying to get him broken of it. And unfortunately, we have yet to get him broken of playing in his water dish. Well, he spilled the entire water dish over here in the kitchen. And I wear sandals around the house. I wear the Adidas slides. Oh, crap. Speaking of which, I'm wearing the wrong shoes. I wear the Adidas slide type sandals in the house, and they're slick on the bottoms. And I proceeded to slip on the tile floor in those slick shoes. And I did the splits and fell, and I hit my knee. And I didn't think much of it. It hurt, and it was pretty painful, and it swelled up pretty quick. And you can, if you ever get a chance to talk to Nico, it swelled up pretty quickly, and we noticed. I was like, wow, that's really swollen, and it hurt. And which, you know, I basically did the splits and slammed onto my right knee hard. And I was fully expecting it to be painful because I hit my knee. Unfortunately, I woke up the next day. I couldn't move that leg. I could not straighten that knee. I couldn't bend it. I couldn't stand to put weight on it. I thought I was going to wet myself. So I went to the emergency room, and they did some x-rays, and they're like, well, nothing's broken, but we've got you going up to the magnetic imaging. We want to get an MRI, make sure you've got nothing torn, since there was a spot available, and they're running the MRI suite 24/7. I have a very minor tear in my MCL. Not enough that I need surgery. They're like, no, you're not going to need surgery. And I was like, good, because I've already had surgery on that knee twice. And they're like, oh, well. So I don't need surgery. But I have a very, very sore knee. As a matter of fact, yesterday, I was on crutches until yesterday. And they wanted me to stay off of it. Today, I'm allowed to walk. I was actually able to drive. It's still really swollen, really bruised, really painful. I was trying to get stuff filmed yesterday. I couldn't really stand. I'm not supposed to stand today. Luckily, I got a lot of stuff filmed because I was going to try and do some stuff while everybody was at Blade. No, I'm not going to show you. Well, yeah, we can look at it. The swelling has went way down, but it's all through here. But that's all still, can you guys see how swollen and mushy and everything that is on that side of the knee? The tear is up here. That's where I landed, but the tear is up in this area. So that's where it actually hurts. The bruise doesn't hurt. Where it's bruised, that's not an issue. That doesn't hurt at all. What hurts is the area above it, because when I landed on the knee, I kicked it over and I tore that outer MCL, the one that's on the inside, the interior. So I have a minor MCL tear. The dog spilled his water, I slipped in it, and I tore my MCL. So like I said, I was on crutches. I was on crutches until yesterday. I went to physical therapy. And they're like, well, we don't want you on the crutches anymore. We want you actually bearing weight on it, which I wasn't going to tell them I already had been. I'll tell you something I did discover. I discovered something. I'm supposed to walk. It helps keep the joint limber. So if you guys are here, please drop a like. I'd appreciate it. I made a discovery, however, while I was laid up. And I mean, it really ruined a bunch of stuff. Like I was really grumpy. And if you guys were in the Gilded server, I apologize. If any of you guys wished me a happy Memorial Day, first of all, I don't think anybody should be wished a happy Memorial Day. It's a day that it's a day for a lot of us military guys where we remember fallen friends and things like that. But I was unable to go and do any of the things that I typically do on Memorial Day. I was supposed to go to National Cemetery, meet some friends. We're going to stop by our friend Julian's gravesite. I was unable to do that. I was basically in bed Sunday and Monday. It happened Saturday afternoon, so I was in bed Sunday and Monday. And yeah, it really did kind of just put a damper on the weekend. But I did discover something. Now, that's what sucks, is getting up. I walk with a distinct and pronounced limp currently. Something that I did discover, and shameless plug for this channel sponsor, Coffee Brand Coffee. These chocolate-covered coffee beans, you got to be careful with those. Those will make you uncomfortably energetic. And if you're stuck in a bed, it's uncomfortable. Lone Star, what's up, buddy? Are you going back to sleep? So it's been an interesting few days. If your name's Willie, you will be excited. I didn't even think about it. Like I ate all those coffee beans, and I was like, I didn't even really think about it because they are freaking delightful. I don't know if you've ever had chocolate covered espresso beans. They are delightful. And I ate them, and I was like, wait a second, I should probably check in. It's not the first time I've ever done this. I was like, how many should you have? And I was like crunching them, and I was like, I looked it up. I was like, how many are recommended? And they were like 10. 10 is the equivalent of like a large cup of coffee. And I'm like, well, I'm a big guy, and I like a big cup of coffee. So my idea of a large cup of coffee is probably more than most. So I had like 15. I was like, I couldn't sleep. Like I couldn't sleep. It fought the painkillers they gave me and everything. I was like, I'm like, that's some strong stuff. And I just ate like 5 of them before we started this live feed. I'm trying to get comfortable. What does this say here? How many? 10 is an average 8-ounce cup of coffee. And I probably had half a bag. And I was like, ooh, I've got a bunch of those. I got my wife a Valentine's Day box from Coffee Brand Coffee. And it came with like 4 bags of those things. That they are delicious. But there's still a lot of caffeine in them. Speaking, Coffee Brand Coffee, I don't know if you guys know this. If you guys are looking for a Father's Day gift, they have pre-made boxes. And I'm not just saying it because they're a channel sponsor, but I can tell you if you're looking for something interesting that's kind of new, you can go on their website for their Father's Day boxes, use my link. And my link and my coupon code Crazy Sharp, all one word, capital C, capital S, saves you 10% on their pre-made boxes. I bought one for my mother for Mother's Day. I bought one for my wife for Valentine's Day. I bought the Mother's Day box for my mother, and I put like 4 different types of coffee in it. But yeah, like I said, if you use my link or my coupon code, it's 10% off, not the usual 5. It's 10% off. So that's a pretty good deal. I mean, that you get to build your own, or you can just get a pre-made, but it comes with treats and stuff like that. So I also did a video yesterday that is recommended EDC gift items for dad. This was my most recommended. Can you guys see that I've carried this enough that I've worn spots in the darkened copper? Guys, if you're just dropping in, please drop a like. It absolutely helps get more people out there. I see Rocky's here. What's up, Rocky? But yeah, blew my knee out, so there will be no. I had thought maybe that if I could get somebody to let me crash in their hotel room, I would drive from here for I was thinking about maybe because I need to go visit my mom, and I was like, you know what, I can make that drive. And I had a buddy that was like, he was gonna go with me, and we were talking about driving. We were gonna split the cost, and we were gonna split the drive, and we were gonna drive to Atlanta, and then I was gonna drive back up to my mom's house, and he was gonna help me. We were gonna split the drive back. But that's not going to happen because I have, like I said, physical therapy every day, and there's no way. I drove my kid to school today, and getting in and out of the Volkswagen, I was like, oh my God, that sucks. But he has a van that he's turned into like a camper. Like, it's got room to sleep too. That's their covert camping thing. They take it and they go like urban camping someplace. Like if they're going on a trip, him and his girlfriend. At any rate, what I was saying was if him and his girlfriend go on a trip, instead of having lodging, they drive this van, and it's got room to sleep too, and it's got a little kitchen and stuff in it. And he was like, yeah, that would work. And you could like hang out in the back. We could take turns driving. And I was like, that would absolutely work. And we could just drive all the way across. But now he's like, yeah, I'm not going by myself. So he'd never been to a blade show. He's not a big knife guy. So they had me on Percocet for the first 2 days after I hurt my knee. I'm still not drinking. I did drink with Nico this weekend, but that's because it was Memorial Day, and I typically do drink on Memorial Day weekend. I had some beers with Nico, but I'm going back to not drinking because I woke up the next day, and not only did my knee hurt really bad. So picture this. I wake up. I haven't drank really. I had a drink with Winston the last time he came down. I had a glass of something I'd never tried before. It was Jameson's Orange, which is delightful if you haven't tried it, by the way. So I tried that. And then Nico came down this weekend, and we drank some beers. And so then I slipped, and then I woke up Sunday, and because I don't drink really at all anymore, I drank with him, and I woke up, and I had a miserable hangover. And then I got ready to step out, and my knee was so torqued, I literally thought I was going to wet myself when I put weight on it. And I was like, oh no. It was just miserable. And then I had to go to the emergency room, and I couldn't drive, so I had to get taken to the emergency room. My wife took me, and she dropped me off, and then came and picked me up after. I was there for a while because, I had to get the MRI and everything. And then I got home, and they're like, we'll get your results. It takes a little while. We'll have somebody look at it. And so they had somebody look at it, and I got a call that night, and they're like, yeah, you've got a minor tear in your MCL. And they were really like, it's very small, but it's going to hurt for a while. It's gonna take a while for it to heal. So I just gotta be careful. I can't like do anything where I will twist. Right now, I had a brace on it, but the brace itches. So I took the brace off. But yeah, it was interesting. And then I limped around for the rest of the night. I didn't think anything of it. Like I said, I was just talking about how you'll have to go back and watch it from the beginning, but you'll have to go back and watch it. But the dog tried to kill me. And I tore my MCL because I slipped in the water dish that he spilled in the water from his water dish. What's going on, Rocky? So I don't know if you guys have noticed, Rocky has donated a ton of memberships. If you got gifted a membership, and I'm not saying today, I'm just saying historically, if you guys aren't using those benefits, you're missing out, man. I give away stuff on the Gilded server to the paying members all the time. I have a handful of knives that are I'm getting ready to do some members-only giveaways on that. And if you're interested in joining the membership, there's a link to that. This might I would like to say that this might wind up being a giveaway, but I think it's going to wind up staying here. I know that I'm going to give away that Snowdy accelerator to the paying members. Oh, no, don't wake up. Don't wake up. It's nice when you're quiet like that. It's nice when you're asleep. I'm going to try and film, because I can stand. Now I'm going to try and film a little bit today, but it's not going to be much. I filmed a little bit yesterday. I'm trying to just do it in spells, so I'll film, and then I'll stop, and then I'll put my leg up, and then I'll stop, and I'll put my leg up. So, but if you're just dropping in, please drop a like. Anybody get anything new over the weekend since the last time we didn't do a live feed for a while. We didn't do one Monday. Didn't do one over the weekend. The last time we did one was this time last week. Which Kaiser? I like this one. This original with the copper, I think, is one of the best knives they've done. I wish that it had just been raw copper. As you can see, it's starting to get a wear pattern. Here, let me turn it around. I'll show you. You can see it's starting to get a wear pattern on it. But I wish it had just been raw copper. This gets carried a lot. You can see where I've worn through that blackening on it. So the pinion's finally shipped. Pinion, the pinion. Which one's the pinion? Was that Knives Fast? Was that one of his knives? Puppy belly, puppy belly. My buddy. That's what I thought, Knives Fast. Yeah. Hang on a second. I got to change the... Guys, I'm sorry if I didn't get your chats. It's not that I wasn't reading them. I didn't have it set up correctly. I got to make sure it's set for live chat instead of just talk. CJRB chored and the cord. It's become a running joke with me to call it the chored. The cord. I had that in pocket yesterday. The cord. I carried that all day yesterday. But I've been carrying this again. I've been carrying this again because I hadn't carried it in a while, and I pulled it out of the case, and I was like, it's such a good knife. Such a good knife. And I'm like, I can't not carry this. I have to do the obligatory thing, guys. Don't dump it. Just, I have to remind everybody, super chats are a thing. That's what supports a lot of channels, especially with YouTube doing the crap that they've been doing with ad revenue lately. So if you do feel like supporting the channel, Rocky drops gift memberships. Who is Keen's Tools has dumped a bunch of super chats. If you like channels, I'm not talking just mine. If you're on Jared's channel and you like what he's doing, drop a super chat. It's like a couple bucks. It absolutely makes the creators feel like that they're doing something you absolutely enjoy. I understand if you can't. I'm just saying, like, YouTube has been screwing content creators, and basically their response is that we have to do that. The other thing that's in pocket today is this bad boy, and this is in my pocket all the time. This actually has replaced my Norseman about 50% of the time. They alternate now. They're in alternate carries. So this gets carried in a Norseman, and this sometimes it's this and the Norseman. But because I can't do any testing, just bought another Jack Wolf from Lefty. Which one of the Jack Wolfs did you buy? I like the Jack Wolf knives. They're great. I'll also tell you, I like the Enrique Pena knives. The slip joints that he's been doing, they are really, really good. Those are some really, really good knives. And his customs are just insane. The custom peñas are amazing. If you've never gotten to see like a handmade custom Enrique Pena, they're stupid good. And then there's a couple other guys that are doing really, really good knives. I'll tell you the ones that have surprised me have been that Rosecraft Zambezi. That is such a good little knife. And I had it out earlier, and I'm not going all the way out there to the garage. I got my leg up now. I'm not going all the way out there. It's such a good little knife. And it's unique, but the fact is, like, you can carry it because it acts like a push dagger. At the half stop, it's like a push dagger. So let's check in on the puppy. Still sleeping. Still sleeping. I can't get comfortable with that leg. So yeah, there hasn't been much new come in. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've got to do. I've got to say that if you guys haven't seen it, another thing you should take a look at is the Olight Arcfeld. I carry mine all the time. And we were talking about in the one video, the UV light. I did a short about it. The UV light on this. People are like, oh, well, what do you use the UV light for? Like, it's a joke. Like, you know, you're checking, like, crime scene, like, you know, bodily fluids. Well, we have the new puppy, which absolutely comes in. Hey, Keen's Custom Tools. No bell is all right. That's good because I can't get to the holy crap, Winston Cabretti. Winston Cabretti, $100. Keen's Custom Tools, $10. No bell. All right, Mike. Can you tell us the ups and downs of using AEBL? Any experience with that steel? So depending a lot on the heat treat. AEBL is really good, but I'll get to that question in a second. Emler, use this towards future sharpenings. I have for you. Sucks. Some of this percent goes to YouTube. Yeah, somebody told me I should do a, just put up like a Venmo or my PayPal where I get all of it. But the problem with that is they still take a percentage. So, what's this? I just got a notification, something. TikTok stored top creators central. Hey, hang on. I'm trying to come back. There we go. It was a TikTok. It was a headline news from, I think, either Truth Social or Twitter. I can't remember which. But as far as AEBL, I'm not a big fan of AEBL. It doesn't take an edge the way I want. Like it's another one of those steels that you gotta be picky about the edge. There are some steels that are amazing. 14C28N. You can use any steel. You can use any grit you want, pretty much. Like it will take any. It's good up to any. That DC53 that's on my Miguron, same thing. It doesn't matter what grit I go to. I get the same toothy, bitey edge. But it just is that way on any stone. Now, there are some steels that I do like 154 CM, 35 S35 VN. If the heat treat's good, like Wee's heat treat is really good. Artisan's heat treat is really good. Those ones are ones that you have to kind of stay in a range of a certain grit. AEBL is a lot like that. I just find AEBL on most knives, most of the heat treats that I've had it in, to be a little soft. And it's not outside of the range of what it should be. It's just that you can do it differently. I forget who it was. One of my friends, custom knife maker, I think it was Aaron Frederick. Aaron Frederick sent me a knife, and I was messing around with it, and he had done a custom heat treat on AEBL. It was super hard, and it was beautiful. But it still was a steel that you had to go and stay under 1,000 grit, which for a guy like me that likes doing like mirror polishes, I like a steel that will do that. M390 20CV 204P, you can do that. RWL34 takes a really mirror polished edge at a lower grit. So does 154 CM, if I tell you the truth. But some of those steels, they just don't ever give me the edge I want. And the thing that I find is like, yeah, it's a toothy edge on AEBL, but it's still not the edge I want. It's not that crisp edge. It's just never quite the way I want. It's always gritty. XHP's like that too. XHP's a really good steel and it holds an edge really well, but the edge always just feels gritty. It doesn't feel like a fine edge for the things that I would want a fine edge for. 21 people and 18 likes. Puppy just farted. I just heard it. A little. Yeah. puppy farts. So if you guys haven't dropped a like, I'd really appreciate it. It definitely helps. It pushes it up the algorithm. So I know there's a lot of folks that are going to Blade Show. I saw that, I saw Big Red put up a thing. He's getting ready to go. I don't like lock inserts on some knives. I don't like lock inserts. The lock geometry on certain knives, it's fine. My Norseman, lock geometry is a really gentle radius. Same thing with my Sebenza. They don't have a very pronounced radius on that lock face, and so you don't get a lot of the galling and lock stick that you get with some other knives. So on those, I'm fine with it, because to tell you the truth, the Norseman that I got, I picked it specifically because it did not have the lock bar insert. I've handled the ones with and the ones without on the Norseman, and I definitely like the way it feels. You get a different feel and a different sound. You know, on a knife that I'm spending that much for, I want exactly what I want. And it might not make sense to a lot of people. Like, why wouldn't you want a lock bar insert? On something I'm spending that much money on, I'm going to want it to have it to be exactly the way I want. So, and thanks again, guys, for dropping those super chats. That was amazing. Winston, that's awesome. If you were going to do it for sharpening, I wish you just brought me the money. Like, I could have put that right in my bank account, as opposed to giving $30 of that to YouTube. And I have to say, we are going to go back to doing some evening live feeds. My daughter's going to start skating in some evenings. So we will have some evening live feeds on Mondays and Wednesdays again. I was burning myself out on those live feeds at night. And I was just getting frustrated. And it was that whole thing of looking at what I was running as far as like the software and the lights and all that stuff. And then they would always get demonetized. They've been getting demonetized for, they've been getting my live feeds pretty much just all get demonetized. So it's like doing them for free, and I would get frustrated, and then I would get frustrated when I wasn't seeing super chats, and I don't want to be like that. Like, I just want it to be, I sat too long. I just want it to be something that we're having fun doing, and if that takes the fun out of it, for me, then I don't want to do it that way. So I'm going out here to get something. I was going to show you what I'm talking about. I don't like saying, what's up, Josh? I don't like talking about something and then not being able to show you. So my Norseman, I believe my Norseman is upstairs, but my Norseman, my Sebenza is out here. And so I'm talking about various lock radiuses. I'm going to grab one that has a very pronounced lock radius and one that does not. Where's my Sebenza? I had it out yesterday. You had it out for a size comparison. I know, I just had it. It's the only green knife that would be out on the counter. And now I can't find my Sebenza. Did I put it? I'm trying to explain to you why I like my Norseman without the lock bar insert. I came all the way out here to get it so I could show you my Sebenza without the lock bar insert, and now I don't know what I have done with that knife. What in the actual fuck? What the fuck, over? Well, I don't know where I put it. I honestly can't tell you that it would have went anywhere because it just got used yesterday for size comparison and did not get put back in the case. So that means that there's only one place it could be, which it's not there. How did this even happen? I'm confused. I am cornfused. I'm gonna. Well, screw it. I haven't carried my Norseman today. I'll go up and get my Norseman. I need to go up there anyway, so I'm gonna go upstairs. But so the titanium lock face, and then the lock interface on the blade, the radius area oh my God, we've had to move stuff because the dog can't figure out the stairs yet. So stuff the dog gets into, we've put on the landing. So now you have to navigate that area. So that's treacherous and hazardous. Let me turn that light off. So the lock interface on these knives is done incredibly different. And so there's not so much pressure being put, there's not so much pressure being put on it as it slams into the face. And we can look at it from with the knives closed, you can see it really clearly. Let me see if I can get this so you guys can see it. I want to explain this. Look, chocolate covered espresso beans. So the radius on that, see how pronounced the curvature is on that? That means when that knife slams open, there's a lot of pressure. It's slamming into that. It's a lot of tension that's formed on that. When you look at the Norseman, there's not really that much of a radius. It's not as, there's an angle to it, but it's not radiused anywhere near as much. And what that allows it to do is this knife, when it opens into that position, it's not being slammed up. It's like jammed up into a corner. It's just sitting there at the right tension. When this opens up, let me see here. I'm trying to get it. Let me get it in focus. Focus. You can see that there's a much more pronounced curvature to the radius on this knife than on that one. And what happens is, as that slams over into that, it galls up. If it was titanium, it would gall up in there. You see what I'm saying? So that means that this is going to maintain lockup a lot longer before it would develop blade play. But it's also putting a lot more tension in the lock position on your stop pin. So there's just some knives that don't need it. The Sebenza doesn't, that's driving me nuts now that I can't find my Sebenza. It's absolutely driving me insane. I'm gonna get done with this live feed before I go pick the kid up for school. And I'm gonna wind up tearing the studio apart. Like, what the fuck did I do with it? So, yeah, there's definite, there we go. Get that leg up on the couch. That's why I'm doing this on the sofa, because we have a sectional, and so I can get my leg up and be comfortable, because I've torn a meniscus in my knee twice. I've had to have 2 knee surgeries, both because I had, one was a bucket handle tear, and then one was a traumatic tear where there is no meniscus left. They're like, yep, we just took it out. There is no cartilage there so one was on the inner, I had a bucket tear on the inner part of the meniscus, and I had a full tear. At the time I was running I loved to run. When I was in the military, and even after I first retired, I loved to run, and I would run all the time. I'd run about 6 miles a day, and on days that I wasn't running 6 miles, I'd run 10. I did that running. I tore it and didn't realize I tore it on one side, and then just completely macerated it, and I had to take it all out. That was a completely different thing than this. I've never torn a ligament in my knee, and this sucks. So I slipped. The dog spilled his water. I slipped in it. When I fell, I did the splits, and I hit my knee, and I thought that was what was causing the pain, Paul. And what happened was, when I fell and I hit the knee, I also twisted it really bad, and I have a minor, I don't want you guys to think oh my God, it's horrific. I don't have I have a minor tear in the meniscus. And the doctor was like, it's really minor. There's no way we'd even think about doing surgery. This is just physical therapy, ice, heat, and give it some rest. And there's some things that I can't do right now. But he's like, that does not at all detract from the fact it's going to be very painful. There's a lot of inflammation in that area right now. So it's hard to drive. It's hard to walk. So I fully expect the doctor. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday with my primary care, and the doctor was like, "You should be seeing like," she was like, "It's going to hurt for about a week, and it hurts significantly less now than it did." So she's like, "It's gonna hurt. Like there's just no way around it. It's gonna hurt, but it's gonna get way better because the initial injury inflammation is going to go down." So, but you know, it is what it is. Things happen, and I'm getting older. So, like I said, at least I don't have to have the surgery. But it did kind of put a damper on stuff. So, but no, that's my whole. I don't have any more pain meds. I'm just taking naproxen, like a 500 milligram naproxen morning and evening. So, and I'll tell you what has helped the most. I didn't ice it because I just fell, you know, I was like, I hit my knee. So I didn't ice it. So I missed out on that. But the heating pad at night, oh, absolutely. The doctor was like, a little bit of heat. We've got a couple heating pads here at the house, and they've got, oh, great. The dog's been chewing on this one. It's got a timer. So you only have it on for like 2 hours. So that has been great. That absolutely helps. And taking a hot shower. I woke up this morning. I was like, fuck, my knee is really stiff. And it hurt. And I took a shower. I took a hot shower. And I was like, oh, hey, that's better. So, but a lot of it's just getting up and walking around. Oh, back to what I was saying. The Arcfeld. Didn't finish that. So this Arcfeld has got the UV. I don't know if that's bad for the camera or not, but it is cool. It's got the UV and regular LED. Now there's two different kind of LEDs. It's got a Cree light or soft white and another one. But I will say there are so many things that the black light comes in handy for. We do have the puppy. So, I mean, obviously that does come in handy. You know, like I can smell pee. I can't find out where it's coming from. You shine, oh, I found puppy pee. And then we've got the enzyme cleaner because puppies have accidents. And especially we've got like the living room split in two. So he spent so much time in the one half of the living room that now when he is out, it's like outside is on both sides. So he hasn't gotten used to the fact that's also house. So we're moving his food dish out there so that he associates that with now that this is all inside. But he has had a couple accidents. And also, you know, he's a male puppy, so they dribble a little, you know. So just little spots, and it's come in handy with that. But I will tell you, if you drop something and it's nighttime, if you drop something on the carpet, like I had a knife that I took apart. He's having a dream. I had a knife that I took apart and I dropped a screw on the rug. And shining the light really didn't help. But turning off the light and using the black light, you get a vast difference in the way things look under UV. And it definitely made it easier to find that little screw. Like that little screw stood out as a little black spot on the carpet. I'm like, oh, hey, there it is right there. While the rest of the carpet was kind of glowing and showing. And like if my wife is asleep and I go in the bedroom and I turn the UV on and I turn it on and it illuminates like that on like the duvet cover and stuff and like the pillowcases. It's not bright like coming in and turning on a light, and I can turn this on, I can shine it up and just illuminate the bed clothes and pillowcase and stuff. And it absolutely comes in handy for doing stuff like that. And if you're hunting, I'm going to tell you right now, having been a bow hunter, the nocks and fletching on arrows are fluorescent. And if you have a black light, you can find your nocks and arrows, and you can track blood way better on grass with a black light than you can with a white light. So lots of really good uses. Now I know guys that have been downrange, they would mark their maps. We would mark our maps and things with the orange and blue and green and red, you know, the highlighters. You mark your map routes, and you can use the UV light, and that doesn't kill your night vision anywhere near as badly, and it definitely shows you your routes. I wish that you could turn the brightness of it down. Like I wish there was a setting for it that you have on this, where you can cycle through that, the intensity. Because sometimes it's a little bit too much. I have not got to see that. I haven't got to see that yet. What's my favorite Spyderco to date? For a long time, it's been the Spyderco police model. That was the first Spyderco that I ever really wanted. And I wanted one. Sorry, guys, I got to put these on. Oh, that's so much better. I had a Spyderco Endura, but I never owned a police. I always wanted one. That was kind of like a Spyderco Grail for me. But just like a lot of the other Spydercos, I couldn't justify the price. Winston Cobretti bought me one as a gift. You know what? I'm going to take some of this stuff back out now that we've done that. Winston Cobretti gave me one as a gift. And it is probably one of my most carried knives that is not my Norseman. Where do I live? San Diego. I am in the San Diego area, Rocky. Uh-oh. Did I wake you? I'm sorry. He's going to be a big dog. Look at the size of those paws. Look at the size of that dog's paws. He is going to be a big dog. Aren't you, buddy? Aren't you, buddy? Yeah. But his dad is a big dog. Why is that? Why are you asking where I live, Rocky? I'm going to go put a couple of these knives away. I have not carried my... Never mind, I'm not coming to pick you up. That dog is not getting a haircut. That is I'll tell you right now. So our other dog was a purebred golden retriever. She was registered. We had all the paperwork, but she had so many skin problems. We had to trim her, and we were trying to breed her, and no one wanted to breed because she looked weird because she was trimmed, short hair. We had to keep her basically trimmed down with a number 2 set of clippers. Because she had so many skin problems that when her hair would get long, she couldn't stand it. She'd get to itching when her hair would get long. She'd get all these hot spots. She had a lot of skin problems. And it's because the guy that gave her to us, he had terminal cancer, and he was real sick when he got her as a puppy, and she spent so much time in a kennel, in a very kennel, like in a cage, in her own filth, like her own excrement and urine and stuff like that, that she wound up with like a chronic bacterial skin infection we couldn't get rid of. And it would get worse when her hair would get long. We are not trimming this dog's hair. He is not getting a haircut. There is no way. Because I have all his American Kennel Association paperwork, and if somebody wants to breed a litter of purebred golden retrievers, I'm absolutely going to stud him out. He is going to have so much sex. Because there's money for that. I mean, people want those puppies, and if they're looking for it, I mean, we just have to submit the paperwork. So he's not getting trimmed because I don't want him to look odd. And he's going to be a good-looking dog. His dad is a huge, beautiful golden. He's going to be a big boy. I weighed him. I had my daughter bring him upstairs after he pooped this morning, but before we fed him, I had my daughter bring him up, and I weighed him, and he was 26 pounds this morning. That means that he has put on 10 pounds since we brought him home. So, but like I said, the male, my friend Dennis, Roger, and Mia over there, they all live together. It's Dennis and his wife and kid, and then his manager, Roger, because he was a professional boxer. They all live together, and the father is massive. So if my wife gets down on the ground on her knees and is petting the dog, when he gets up and sits up, he's he's as tall as my wife. When he sits up, he's like nose to nose with my wife when he's sitting, and my wife is on her knees in front of him, just playing with him. He's such a sweet dog too. All of those dogs are just great, sweet dogs. All the puppies were and everything. He got to go back to our friend's house over the weekend. So like I was stuck at the house, and the wife was like, "Well, Matilda, the Dennis's daughter, my daughter's friend. That's how we all met. Because they used to ice skate together. Matilda invited my daughter over to come play and hang out for the day on Sunday, and I'm like, I was like, well, I'm going in the emergency room. After I came back from the emergency room, she's like, yeah, we're going for the afternoon. And I was like, okay. And so he got to play with his mom, his dad, and all the puppies and stuff. You'll be cleaning up those 10-pound shits too. Yeah, I know. He already poops 3 or 4 times a day. Every time he eats, takes crap. But he's gotten really good. He's really good about like pottying outside. If you're not home, he doesn't go. Like, we had to go and do some stuff Friday. So Friday, I didn't film anything from Friday until yesterday. Well, part of it was because of the knee. Friday to yesterday, I didn't film or edit anything. And so I went on Friday with my wife. She's like, well, we could spend the day together. We'll do a family day because Saturday, Nico and Bridget were coming down. Isabel was going to go do some stuff. They went to my wife had a friend's birthday party she had to go to. And so Friday was our day that we were going to spend together on the weekend. And so we went and we had to go get some stuff. I had to look for some shoes. We went shopping and doing some other stuff. And then we were gone for like 3 hours, and he didn't have an accident in the house or anything. So what's up, Zorro? So if you guys are just getting here, please drop a like. I can see that there's people fading in and out. But back to my favorite Spyderco. The Spyderco police model has always been one I've wanted. I remember the first time I ever saw one. I can't remember when they came out. Let me see here. When was the Spyderco police model released? 1984. So I remember seeing them in a catalog somewhere. And I can't remember, like, I don't remember what catalog. I remember seeing them in a knife magazine or knife catalog, and it was like the new big thing. Spyderco was kind of a newer brand. This was one of the things. Yes, I can try to fix your Spyderco for you. Did you drop a like yet, Zorro? Dropping in here, not dropping a like? I haven't seen the likes increase yet, but I saw your fat head show up. Yeah, I can do that. We can get that figured out. I mean, worst case scenario, if it doesn't completely fix it, we'll just tumble it until it looks right. Any rate, I remember seeing the Spyderco police model, and I wanted one, and I wanted one, and I wanted one. And I kind of forgot about it, and then I saw how much they were, and I'm like, well, it was a lot like the Benchmade 940. I was like, I want one. I can't justify that price. Like, I can't afford that knife for what you're getting. And just like the Benchmade 940, it was gifted to me, and I'm like, why didn't I get one of these? It's so good. I bought Enduras, but I just couldn't, for some reason, could not pull the trigger on one of these. And I don't know why. I had the same type Endura. I had the Endura, which was the all stainless, just like this, with the saber grind. And I loved it. I had a half serrated one that was issued to me. I didn't like it. I bought one that was a plain edge stainless steel and replaced it and gave the serrated one to someone else. Then gave away the stainless steel one as a retirement gift because there was a chief that was retiring that really wanted one or wanted that specific one. And so I gave it to him as a gift. And then I bought an FRN version, and I just always forgot about this until I was like, well, I can't afford it right now. And then when Winston gave it to me, I'm like, man, I really wish I had gotten one of these. I really wish I had gotten one of these sooner. This thing is probably the best Spyderco they've ever made. The Spyderco Police is probably the best one. It's in a video coming up. This comes up in a video here in just a day or two. Actually, no, it was in it. It was in the 5 or the 7 self-defense knives that went up already. This is absolutely the best Spyderco I've had. As far as a self-defense knife, I think the Matriarch 2 is absolutely one of the best self-defense knives out there. But it's also not something you can do a lot of EDC tasks with. I can do a lot of stuff with that Spyderco Police, and it is really sharp. It's not a great slicing knife. Like, it's not like something I'm going to go, that's not the knife that I go to tear down cardboard and stuff like that. But it's absolutely a great, great knife for an EDC knife that double duties as a self-defense or secondary weapon, like a second chance weapon. I let myself about half get dehydrated yesterday. Got me the partially serrated version, solid knife, a little thick behind the edge. I don't like serrated at all. I mean, it has its place. But they are a little thick behind the edge, but it's also something that you can punch through the sidewall of a tire. Like if you were a cop and you were trying to prevent a car from, like, the guy's getting ready to leave and you punch this through a tire, which we all know cops do shit like that. Like, this guy's gonna run. So before we serve the warrant, I'm punching his tires. Absolutely one you can do that with. And it's just an evil looking blade. You know what I mean? That is just vicious looking. Time for puppy cam. Shall we puppy cam it? Still asleep. He likes to snuggle your feet. So he's gonna be fun. He's gonna be a lot of fun when he's able to do a lot of other stuff. He has discovered that the neighbors have a dog. I can't keep that leg. I'm supposed to keep it, like, if I'm sitting down, I'm supposed to keep it straight, but then it hurts. So it doesn't hurt if I put my feet both on the ground, but then when I do get ready to straighten it, it really fucking hurts. And I'm like, oh, that's why they told me to keep my foot elevated. As much as I can. I'm supposed to keep my leg elevated as much as I can. Yeah, he's great. He's a sweetie. He absolutely is my wife's dog, though. Like, the golden retriever, the golden retriever we had before, Cayenne, the one that you guys always saw, the production assistant, absolutely was my dog. She loved me. I was the one that she would come running to. Like, I'm the one that she always listened to. I was the one that she absolutely, like, my wife was like, that dog won't wag its tail for me. Like, the dog doesn't even recognize it. Like, when I would come home, the dog would go ape shit. When my wife would come home, the dog wouldn't even wake up. And it irked my wife. This dog, the second he hears my wife's voice, goes nuts. And it was like that the very first time we went to see the puppies. And that's why he's the one that came home with us. I told my wife and daughter, I was like, when we go pick the dog, don't pick a dog. Let the dog pick you. That's just how it works. When we showed up, the dog that came up and out of their little pen first and went just nuts about seeing us was this one, Chunk. And he went right to my wife. The second my wife went in, that was the dog that went right to my wife. The next time we came, he heard my wife's voice and just came charging and barreling out of the area where the puppies were. And every time after that, he's the one that would come. He's definitely my wife's dog. He gets up on the couch and lays with her. He climbs up on the couch so he can lay on top of her. The second she walks in the house and he hears her voice, there's no one else that dog cares about except my wife. He likes my daughter. He likes me, loves my wife, which is good. It's good because I feel bad because, like, the last dog, absolutely, she wanted that dog to just love her and make over her and all the stuff that you want from a puppy, and that dog just wouldn't do it. Like, even when we would sit down and she's like, give me a kiss, and the dog would turn its head. And the dog would fucking smile, like, because it knew that she wanted that dog to give her a kiss, and it wouldn't. And I'm like, okay, that's good. She needs this. She needs this dog to be her dog. The German Shepherd we had before, the German Shepherd we first had when we moved to the States, we brought it from Japan with us, absolutely loved my wife to death. And she really didn't get that feel from the Golden that we had before. I mean, the dog liked her. This dog loves my wife. Just nuts. My neighbors make a lot of noise. I don't think they sleep. I think they might be meth heads. No, they're not. They're really sweet. I love my neighbors. But at any rate, they have not a boxer. They have a bulldog. And my dog goes to the fence, and those two have found a spot where they can stick their noses through. Just love each other. They both, when my dog goes out, you can hear him trotting across the yard to run over to see my dog. And my dog as well, when he realizes that their dog is loose, when their dog is out, just absolutely just goes nuts. So he started to dig, which is a problem. I don't want him digging in the yard because he's going to dig up the sprinklers. So anybody got any knives that they really are interested in seeing at Blade Show? Oh, who all's going to Blade Show? I know Rocky said he's going. Socks are pretty hard to shit out. I will tell you a story. You guys want to hear a story? So I had a friend named Travis. This is when I lived in Japan. It's before I ever met my wife. So Travis and his wife lived in base housing, and I would stop by. I'd stop by and hang out. And they had this great big mixed breed dog, just this big mutt. Sweetest dog you'd ever met. He was massive, though. He's huge. And so I'd go over to their house, and I think Pugsley was the dog's name or something like that. Just this massive dog, but he would get into everything. He ate socks, he ate gloves. If you left your hat lay, he'd tear your hat up, and he would just eat stuff. So one day, me and Travis are in his backyard there in housing, and I was like looking, and I was like, Travis, there's something sticking out of your dog's butt. And there's this like little brown thing sticking out. And he's like, what in the fuck? And the dog is trying to get it out. And the dog is like dragging his ass around on the grass. And he goes, what is it? And it's just like, there's more of it hanging out. There's like that much hanging out. And Travis is like, I got to figure this out. And so he goes over and he's like, what in the hell? And he steps on it. And this dog walked away, just like shivering and shaking. It was an entire hand towel. The fucking dog had eaten an entire hand towel, and it was hanging out, and he shit it out, and Travis was standing on it, and the dog walked away from it, just shivering and making noise. I was like, what in the actual fuck is up with your dog? A hand towel. And I mean, like a foot and a half long hand towel. Where's everybody going? So, yeah, I think this is going to wind up being one of my all-time favorite knives. With the S90V, just the overall design, the way it shapes and the way it's shaped and the way it feels in hand. This is absolutely. This made an appearance in another video that I filmed yesterday. I got 2 videos filmed yesterday. I got 3. I still have 1 to finish editing. And I'm going to try and film one tonight after the wife and kid leave to go to the ice rink tonight. I'm going to try and film one more. So I'm just trying to get videos up, but I am going to try and get back to 2 videos a day. And the thing that sucks about this whole weekend was, later, Zorro. The thing that sucked about this whole weekend was I had intended to film some stuff on Saturday on Sunday before I went up to visit with some friends and stuff like that. And then my knee was all screwed up because I'm trying to get back to 2 videos a day. So I'll do the days that I have live feeds. You'll get a video and a live feed and then 2 videos a day. And I had gotten a bunch of filming and stuff done, and I had it to where I could start doing it. But right now I'm burning through that stuff because it's really hard to film because it hurts to stand for any prolonged period of time. So, what was this? My pooch swallowed a rib bone and it came sideways. Ooh, that doesn't sound comfortable. Hey, Bubbles is here. I didn't even see. Sorry, Bubbles. I didn't see your comment. Him and the cat are just inseparable. Like if the cat is. Oh, hey. I've got to film something for Coffee Brand Coffee. I just got a notification. The giveaway for Coffee Brand Coffee, I'm going to work with them this week and let them know when I'm going to do it. So I will do, probably next week, I'll do an evening live feed. I got a couple giveaways I want to do. So I'm going to do the Coffee Brand Coffee giveaway because I earned that. We did enough sales through Coffee Brand Coffee. They're going to sponsor a giveaway on the channel. They are actually a really good company to work with. Their new blackberries and cream, I got some of that. I used one of the other partners. I used their coupon code, so they made money and I saved some money. I got some of the blackberry cream. I know that if you're on the Gilded server, I know that you saw Memers Anonymous said that it was either Memers Anonymous or 5 Door Estate said that they didn't like the blackberry cream. That is absolutely the best. That is one of the best flavored coffees I've ever tried. The cinnamon toast is better, or I'm not cinnamon toast. The French toast flavor is better, but that blackberries and cream might take my spot as the best flavored coffee they've done, I think. Because I had another cup of each this morning, and I was like, I don't know, that blackberry cream is really good. And the nice thing is it's not like it's not sicky sweet, like saccharine kind of flavor. It's just enough that it's really good with just a little bit of cream in a cup. It's fucking good. But at any rate, what I was gonna say is they're sponsoring a giveaway because we sold enough last month that they sponsored a giveaway. So I'm going to get that done this month. I don't think so. We didn't sell them. A lot of people didn't use my affiliate because a lot of people bought 5-pound bags, and I was telling everybody, like, don't buy a 5-pound bag until you're sure whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? Like, you buy a 5-pound bag, you've got 5 pounds of coffee. It's not like it's cheaper to buy 5 pounds of it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's cheaper. It's the same price per pound. You're not going to pay as much in shipping, but absolutely it was, last month was great. This month has not been. Sales on anything, like my affiliate links, nothing has been great. And I'd like to remind you guys, go get my Amazon store link. You can copy that. It has a search tab. Like, copy that, drop it in your browser, and do all your Amazon shopping with that. 22nd, July 22nd. Okay, we're going to get it put out. I will make a community post. I will get it set up. You guys are going to have to let me know. I want to know who all's coming. We're going to have people that are absolutely going to have to sign up. Nico and I will get it figured out. Pre-orders. Nico and I definitely set the date. It is the 22nd of July at the Craft Lounge Tap House in Banning, or I can't remember. It's Beaufort, Beaumont. It's either Banning or Beaumont. But at any rate, it's up there. It's outside of Palm Springs. It's going to be the Inland Empire meetup. So it's going to be up there. There will be lodging available. So if you're staying, you can add lodging right to your thing. So Nico will get it figured up. Nico and I will get it figured up. He's going to talk with the guy that runs the place. So it will get figured up what the cost is for the ticket for admission. But with that admission, you're going to have entry into door prizes. You'll get a certain number of free drinks and stuff like that. and you could get your admit. So like I said, there'll be raffle tickets and stuff like that. You can buy get a certain number of raffle tickets, and you can buy more. We're gonna do it like an actual, like a little mini show. We've got it figured out that there's gonna be an area, like USN has the Cove. USN has the Cove. Yeah, I did see that you got, but I mean, like usually I gotta get 10 sales per month to get a giveaway, is the way it works. At any rate, so we're gonna have, like, USN has the Cove and Blade Show has the Pit. We're gonna have the Swamp. It's gonna be a little area. We'll make sure that we close it off. We'll put it outside with no air conditioning in July. It'll just swamp ass. We call it the Swamp. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna do it. We'll get it all set up so that's where everybody can go sit if they're wanting to trade knives, and they can have their cases and stuff. I'm gonna bring a lot of my knives. I'm not gonna bring everything because I don't want my fucking knife case to walk off. No one, Bubbles, no one. So you don't gotta be in Texas that day, unless you're doing a prisoner transfer. That's the plan, is we're gonna have all that. I do know that there's some companies that rogered up that are gonna give some stuff to us for giveaways. I'm sorry. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys something. Have you guys seen, so those of us that grew up when I did, have you seen Fatal Attraction? You guys remember Fatal Attraction, right? And the bitch went crazy. Granted, he shouldn't have been cheating on his wife, but the chick went crazy, and she attacked his family, and then he killed her, right? Have you seen the new version of it where he's in jail for it? Like she's the victim? I got news for you. If someone breaks up with you and you go crazy and you kill the family pet and then you try to attack them in their home and they shoot you, you had that shit coming. You earned that. That's that. The more you fuck around, the more you find out. Yeah, he probably should not have led her on. He probably should not have an affair. But the fact is that when he said no more, that was it. She went crazy. But now the new one, apparently he's in jail and they're trying to put him he's up for parole or some shit. And I was like, why is he in jail? That all goes back to this whole thing where they are absolutely trying to take away your right to defend yourself and normalize that. I'm not going to get into the whole politics of it. I'm just saying, I think it's bullshit. We'll start doing some more Rumble live feeds again and we can talk about that. But I just didn't know if you guys had noticed that. I can't be the only one that was like, what in the actual fuck? I haven't watched the show. I just know that he's sitting in front of a parole board. I want to understand. I want to try and understand why I did what I did. The crazy bitch was trying to kill your family. You shot her. That's why you did it. I don't get it. Now, every time you log in, all I can think of is that scene from Airheads. Who would win in a battle between Lemmy and God? Trick question. Lemmy is God. You know that whole thing, Airheads, with Brandon Fraser and Adam Sandler and fucking Steve Buscemi. Now I want to watch that shit. Fuck, is that streaming anywhere? I don't know if it is. Why are you kicking me? Yeah, that's the other thing. I was like, good point, Benfy. Very good point. She's the one that shot. Why is he in jail? Is he in jail because he had an affair? Well, that doesn't... I mean, I'm religious and everything, and I don't think it's cool to cheat on your wife, but yeah, Fatal Attraction. That's what we're talking about. The new Fatal Attraction TV show, fucking Michael Douglas's character's in jail. I don't know. She cooked the kid's rabbit. I mean, come on. You awake? No wakes? He's no wakes. I was going to try and put it in a fisheye so you can see more of it, but I forgot that I'm on my old phone. Rabbit is delightful. If any of you guys have never had rabbit, let me put it to you this way. If you like chicken, you will love rabbit. Rabbit, chicken, squirrel. Rabbit and squirrel, not chicken. So if you like chicken, you'll love rabbit. If you love rabbit, you're really going to love squirrel. It's almost like the cuter the animal, the better they taste, which I can kind of tell you. I had dog. It's pretty good. It's pretty delightful. But rabbit is what chicken could have been if it had just fucking tried, just a little bit. Like, I like chicken, and rabbit is so much better than chicken. So rabbit, had it just put a little effort into it. Or, I mean, chicken just put a little effort into it, it could have been as good as rabbit. And if you like squirrel, I'm going to tell you another secret. You would love chipmunk. You got to get a lot of them, which means you got to have like a tomato patch and a pellet rifle and a lot of patience. But if you get enough of them, they are delightful. And when I mean, you got to get a lot of them. I got a bunch of chipmunks and I skinned them and I gave them to my dad and we cleaned them up and he put them in the freezer and then I got a couple more like a couple days later and I just kept doing it out at the tomato patch there at the house. I kept bringing them in and I would skin them and I was doing it with the pellet rifle and after a few days we had about 12 or 13 chipmunks that were all skinned out in the freezer. My dad threw them in a smoker and he was like, "Those are amazing." He's like, "I think you're right. The cuter the animal, the better it tastes." I don't know. Bubbles, have you noticed that the cuter the animal is, the better it tastes? I'm a hunter, I'm going to tell you right now. It seems to be a thing. So, what time is it? I'm going to give you guys about another. It is good. It's good. I love rabbit. And wild rabbit, and we used to grow rabbits. We raised rabbits, and so I had some friends from school. They were not from a small town. Like they weren't from the country. They were from like a town of a lot more people than where I grew up. And so I had met them through, I forget where I met them, but they weren't from my school. But they were friends of mine in high school. And we grew rabbits, and we went out like, "Oh, wow, you have so many rabbits." I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, are they all your pets?" And I'm like, "What?" And at that time, my dad grabbed what we called the priest, which was a hatchet handle, and took one of the rabbits out of the pen and took it around back and smacked it in the head, and then brought it out and was skinning it. And they were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "This is supper." Like, we always had rabbit. We had rabbit, like, twice a week because they always have babies. Like, rabbits are basically born pregnant. I don't know. We had rabbit all the time. We always had rabbit. But tame rabbit and wild rabbit are definitely different. I absolutely prefer wild rabbit over tame rabbit. Like it's definitely got a different flavor, and it's because of what they're eating. It absolutely is. Like, you're feeding rabbits on pellet, and you're feeding pet rabbit like pet rabbit food. The wild rabbits eat different. So good. And especially we had a walnut tree up in the one grove, and if you got rabbits up there, they had been eating walnuts. Holy crap, those were good. Like, they were fattier and stuff like that. Like, that one area of the farm where there was a little walnut grove, if you could get rabbits up there in that area of the farm, it was a 450 acre farm. There were different areas of the farm where you would go hunting, and rabbits from that section of the farm up above the old oil well area, Those rabbits tasted amazing because they were eating walnuts that were falling out of the walnut trees, way different than the ones on the other side of the farm. And that's where I would prefer to go rabbit hunting. But, you know, you can't hunt them all out. We had rabbits all over the farm. Squirrels, too. Squirrels there tasted different. And it was 100% what they were eating. They were eating the walnuts and stuff like that. Just Nate, have a 5-piece. Thank you very much, sir. I don't have my bell or my thing. I'm in the living room. Nate, were you here to hear the whole thing about me slipping on water? The dog slipped and tearing my MCL. I don't know if you were here for that. Grimsmo Norseman and this are real comparable. Now, I did the $300 versus $1,000. This is not as good a knife. It never will be. There's so many different things that are so much better about the Norseman. But as far as comparable for performance and things like that, yeah. There's not as many bells and whistles in this. This knife isn't gonna, like, I'm not gonna be able to get the repairs done on this knife that I could on the Norseman. I can't just reach out to them and get replacement screws and stuff like that. And that's where you get $1,000. A lot of people are like, oh, why would you pay that much for a knife? And I was like, a lot of times there's a lot of bells and whistles you get with a knife. And I like to say that a warranty isn't a replacement for quality. But if you've got both, like I've reached out to John Grimsmo 3 separate times on stuff for this knife. I got oversized stop pin that I really didn't need because it was a different issue with the pivot. I had let the pivot get loose and it felt like it had blade play. And it did not realize that the pivot was loose because it didn't have any wiggle. It just had enough that there was blade play. So oversized stop pin, no problem. The bearings got run down the garbage disposal one time. Brand new set of bearings. I lost a body screw because I had not Loctited the screws in because they do get loose. They replaced the screw. I have never once had an issue with just reaching out to them and saying, hey, man, I need this. Every time it's been amazing. It's been easy. And they ask me what the serial number is on the knife. And I'm like, and people are like, oh, well, because that way they can see if it's been sold on the secondary. Never once have they said anything about it. They just want to know because the different knives had there were different specs for different knives. And they keep a record of that. So they know what size bearings races they used. They know what they were doing with the bearings at the time. They know what the screws were at that time. So they can do replacements. And I was like, that is amazing. That's the thing you get. So I'm not saying like don't buy a knife that has a warranty because like that's bad quality. If you've got super good quality and a good warranty, that's amazing. I guarantee I would have a hard time getting screws for this. Guaranteed. PMP is in Sweden. It's done, it's made in China. It's made very well. But I guarantee if I needed something for this, I would not have anywhere near as easy a time to get it as I could get from like Norseman or Medford or any of the folks that are doing like high-end knives with really good warranties. Like I might not like Greg as a person, but as far as like, you know, being able to get warranty work done, he's good. Quality of machining, he's great. Quality as a human, not so great in my opinion. And the reason I say that, people are like, oh, you're just upset. Like, what was it with the China thing? I was like, it's not just China. He's also berated all Asian countries. He also has berated Japanese people. He's berated other nationalities that are Asian. It's not just the Chinese thing. That's what I just told you. That's what I'm telling you. It's just that he's not a good person. Just the way he treats people. I saw him at a show. It was at Blade Show West in Portland. And I've told this story again. And that's how, like, people will tell you who they are. People will tell you who they are by the way they act and interact with people. Like, I like to think I'm a good person. Some people don't like me. I don't care. Some people don't like the way I present myself. I don't care. Some people are like, oh, he's always like doing the begging for money on YouTube. Well, that's because this is where I make my money, and YouTube has made it almost impossible. And that's why I ask for super chats and stuff like that. I just like to remind you guys you can do it. I'm not actually begging. Greg at a show, this was the one that showed me the kind of, like, people will tell you who they are, right? If you let them. And so I was at a show, and there was, I was getting ready to get in line. I wanted to talk to Greg about knives because they had started doing the laser engraving, and on the titanium, they could get different colors. And so they had red, white, and blue and stuff like that. And there was a handful of Marines in front of me at the table. They were walking up to the table. And as they were walking up to the table, you could just see Greg was in a shit mood, because he just is. Like, you could see it. And so they walk up to the table, and they start asking him some questions. You could see that, like, these guys know he's a jarhead. And they walk up and are like, hey, man, about the knives, this and that. And Greg looks at these 4 Marines and says, and I quote, "I'm not here to answer your fucking questions. Either buy a knife or leave." And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm not talking to Greg. You've never seen Greg in one of my videos. You know why? Because I saw how he treats his customers and his fellow servicemen. And that's my big problem with Greg Medford. So if any of you guys have a question about it, some people think Greg's one of the greatest dudes in the world. I personally think he's a piece of crap. Same thing with Jay Kobach. As a person, as a machinist, he's amazing. As a machinist, he is amazing. He does some of the best machining in the United States, if not the best. I'll go ahead and say it. He probably does the best machining in the United States. Outside of like T-Kel, Tim Kell, we're talking like amazing. So, yeah, that's been my that has been historically my issue with him. That one incident, the first time I ever had a chance to actually meet Greg. Like, a lot of times he gets pissy and has a temper tantrum and walks away from his table. And so he's never there. And there's this guy named Jeff that's always there. And Jeff's a big, tall guy, obviously not Greg Medford. Greg is just a little tiny guy. So, like, he does that all the time. And everybody's like, oh yeah, Greg had a temper tantrum and left. Things weren't going his way, so he left. I'm like, okay, fine, I just won't talk to Greg. And so I finally had a chance to talk to Greg at a show, and I heard him do that, and I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Because the thing was, like, I saw how he treated those guys, his fellow Marines. And those are service members and potential customers. And I'm like, that's not cool. And I said right then that I wasn't going to film with Greg. Now, I filmed Medford Knives with Jeff, Geoff. I've filmed with Jeff at Medford's table, and I filmed Medford's Knives. But I'm not going to put someone like that on my channel. So, guys, if you're just dropping in, please drop a like. It helps kick us up the algorithm. Got about 20 minutes left that we'll do this. I want to get up and out of the way and stuff like that before the wife and kid get back. So I like being out of the way, because what's going to happen is my wife has to come back. And so the wife and kid are going to come back, and they are going to get ready to eat and get a bunch of stuff done. And then they're going to take my kid skating. And so if I'm out of the way, I'm not underfoot. My kid can have the kitchen to make her lunch. My wife can unpack all her stuff from work, get changed. And so I like to be done and out of the way. What bit drivers do I like? Here's the thing. Bit drivers, I have a really expensive one that was a custom, and I wanted to support a guy that was doing this custom work, and he turned kind of into a douchebag, and ramped his prices sky fucking high, even though that, like, he didn't change his process. Like, he was making them, and he was really happy about it, and then he started talking with somebody. So I'm not going to tell you the name of that, because I don't really, like, his things are like $500 now. I have that one, but I mean, as long as the bit driver fits your bits, I've got a Stanley screwdriver handle that fits all of my driver bits that actually works better than my expensive bit drivers. it's like a $3 bit driver. I like a bit driver that fits my hand. I'll show you. It's not even a Stanley. I don't even remember what it is. I'll go show you. It's in my, it's in the studio. I grab my reading glasses because the dog will chew them up. Let me grab my lemonade glass. It's empty anyway. I'll show you the one I like, because it really does fit your hand really well. And it's nothing fancy. All I need is something that my bits fit in. So I see a lot of guys, like one of you guys bought a very expensive bit driver and we're showing it on the Gilded server. And I was like, I remember when I did that and I was like, it doesn't work any better. I'll go out there. That means I can carry this shit out there anyway. Get this out of the way so I don't have it sitting here. Pronounced limp. Chocolate covered espresso bean. Yummy. So I do have a very, very nice bit driver that is currently not where it's supposed to be because I've moved some stuff around out here. Either that or I left the garage door open and somebody broke in. This is a really nice zirconium and copper, or zirconium and brass bit driver. It's zirconium there. And when I got it, this end piece was off center, but it's magnetic and it fits all my bits, right? But the fact is, the one that I use the most is this. And it fits the bits, and it fits my hand, and I get a lot more torque on that. There's a lot more, I can generate a lot more energy with this than I can with that little one. This is the one I use the most. This was like $3. This is $110. Is it cool? Is it fancy? Yeah, it's neat. Doesn't work as well. Stop breaking the bank on stuff. This absolutely has a spot in the back where you can put other bits. You can sit your bits in here. And so if you're going to take that with you, you can put this in your kit and put extra bits in it. Like if you know you need a T6, a T8, and a T15 for the knives that you're going to be working on, take those 3 bits, put them in the handle, and it's fine. I use that way more than I use that $110 bit driver. I use the expensive bit driver for videos because it looks cool. There's a lot of money that gets wasted on stuff. Here's another one. Here, I'll show you. I have another one that's in here. Where's my Husky? Oh, I let my buddy borrow it. I have a Husky that has got tools that came with it. It's a little tiny Husky bit driver. And they're not the same size bits as the others. But it's a nice little slim one, and they're double-ended bits, and you can just rotate them through. And it's a really nice one. I've had it in videos before. I need to get up and stand up a little bit anyway. So there's a lot of stuff out there, the tool stuff that you guys are paying for. I wanted to do a video about that, but some knives, absolutely, firearms as well. There's some firearms out there that are priced incredibly over the top, like Kimber. I don't like Kimbers. I had a Kimber, and it just was not what I wanted. And for what you pay, you're not really getting, I really didn't think that you were getting very much for what you were paying. So, uh-oh. He loves that monkey. There's a lot of them out there. Oh, I tore my MCL over the weekend. That's why I'm limping. Jeremiah, I tore my MCL. I slipped. Hang on a second. I slipped and fell and tore my MCL. It's like a rhyme. Saturday, Nico came down. The dog spilled a water bowl, and I slipped in it. And when I fell, I did the splits. And I fell and did the splits, and slammed my knee on the ground. And I thought I had just, slammed it. That's why it hurt. And so it hurt all day, all evening Saturday. And then I woke up Sunday, and and I'm like, I gotta go to the emergency room. It looked like somebody had shoved a volleyball down my pant leg, and couldn't straighten my knee, couldn't bend it, couldn't really stand, put weight on it. My wife had to take me to the emergency room, dropped me off, and then came back, picked me up. And so they did it. They run the magnetic imaging suite at Balboa 24/7 now. So they were able to get a spot. They're like, hey, there's a spot. We can get you up for an MRI. They did X-rays and an MRI on Sunday. And I was like, that is really cool. And then I got my results back that evening. I'm like, yeah, you got a torn MCL. It's a really minor tear, but it is uncomfortable. I do have to say. They told me, like, it's going to hurt. It's going to heal. They told me by the end of the week I should be able to, like, it should stop hurting. They took my crutches back. When I went in for my doctor's appointment yesterday, they took my crutches. So they're like, yeah, you don't need them. I was like, cool, I don't need them either. And they were like, cool, yeah, we'll take them back. And so they took the crutches back. So I'm not on crutches, but I have to rest it and take it easy. That's why we were sitting for the majority of the live feed, but I'm really just tired of sitting. I want to get up and do something, but it does hurt to stand on it. It's definitely better. It's definitely better, and it hurts more today than it did yesterday, and I think that's because yesterday was the first day I was really allowed to do anything. So I tried to film, and I was walking around, and I was playing with the dog. I was in bed from Sunday morning, from Sunday afternoon when I got home. I was in bed from Sunday afternoon until yesterday morning. Like, I was able to get up and go to the bathroom and everything, but they were like, you need to rest. Like, we want you resting, minimal movement, minimal walking, things like that. So I couldn't go do any of the stuff that I do for Memorial Day. I didn't get to go visit my friend's grave. I'm going to go, me and my friends rescheduled to this weekend. So this weekend we're going to drive up to, they're going to come pick me up. We're going to go up to the National Cemetery. So even if my knee didn't hurt, I wouldn't dance. Bubbles, if you see me dancing, it's because I've got alcohol poisoning. You need to get me to an emergency room. That's not true. That's not true. Nico's seen me dance. A couple of guys see me dance. I used to dance with my wife when we go to, like, the Navy ball and stuff like that. But, yeah, I was in bed. I was basically down and in bed for the entire weekend. So we're going to go this weekend, and I'm getting around better. It always hurts more. Like, they tell me, like, oh, keep your foot elevated. It hurts way more when I sit with my foot up for a while than if I had just walked around. So I'm gonna try, like I said, when my wife and kid leave this afternoon for the ice rink stuff, I'm gonna try and film a video or two, and then maybe do the edit tomorrow. And then I'm gonna film tomorrow because they're gone all day. It's just me here all day tomorrow. So those are days that I typically can get at least 3 videos filmed, not necessarily filmed and edited. You would be surprised at how much work goes into editing a video. So I think I'm going to keep doing this. You guys are going to get a video. There's a video going up at 4 p.m. today. So you guys are going to see 2 videos today. I'm trying to get back to 2 videos a day. I was killing myself with that, and now I've got a buffer of, like, I think I have 9 videos that are all in various stages of editing, which only will take a little bit to get thrown up. So I'm trying to get them all loaded to YouTube so that I can just have them preset and then schedule them for release. Oh, they were my friends. They were my friends, and that's one of the things that, like, if I offended anybody, like, there was a lot of people that wished me a happy Memorial Day. For Veterans Memorial Day is a little different. We celebrate. It's more for us. It's more like we want to celebrate with each other. We don't necessarily want the outside interaction because for us, it's Memorial Day is. I equated it this. I told a couple people this, like wishing a veteran that had friends pass a happy Memorial Day is like sending someone a message like, "Hey, happy, don't forget your mom died 3 years ago day," something like that. And a lot of times we don't really like to be reminded of it because we're spending time together. And so I see all these like happy Memorial Day, and I'm like, fuck you, there's nothing happy about it. But I get it. For a lot of people, they don't understand that. And for a lot of people, it's not like that. But everybody's like, well, you shouldn't be sad. You should be celebrating their life. I was like, we absolutely do celebrate their life. We go up to my friend's grave, and we tell stories about hanging out with him and doing all the crazy shit that we used to do and stuff like that. But we're doing it our way. We don't need someone else. I don't really like having other people try to interact with me on Memorial Day. It's never a good day to like, hey, wish me a happy Memorial Day. It really isn't. It never has been. Because I do have a lot of friends. Don't forget, I served through Bosnia, Second Gulf War, the entire, the insurgency and all that shit. I know, so many guys that through that conflict, those two conflicts, like that we lost them, and it wasn't fair. And then we keep losing more because they're not giving us the mental health services that we should have, and we keep losing more. And like I told one of my friends the other day, it's like the older I get, the more dead people I know. And it's a true statement. And you're losing 22 a day. And if you're like, well, I did 22 push-ups. Fuck you. You didn't do shit. Doing 22 push-ups did nothing to help veterans' mental health. I appreciate the sentiment, not sediment. Sediment's something that falls to the bottom of a wine bottle. I appreciate the sentiment that you're trying to do something, but you're not really doing anything. 22 a day, push-ups, it's not doing anything. Give $22. Give $22 to Bastard Road Program every year. Like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's $22 more than that mental health, that veterans mental health group had before you did it. So, but that was the thing that sucked, because while I don't like Memorial Day because it is a reminder, the thing is, I was gonna get to see some of my friends that I haven't seen forever, and we go up and we tell stories about our friend Julian and all this stuff. And like, Julian passed after he retired. Julian was a really good friend that I worked with as a GS, and he was an Army veteran, and he passed away in his sleep one time. And we go up and we tell all the stories about hanging out with Julian and all this stuff. And then I go and I see some of my friends that I serve with that are out here that are in a national cemetery, and we just make a day of it. But the whole thing is, it's us and we're having fun, and it's that fellowship. You never, as a civilian, will never understand, unless you were in the military, a civilian will never understand the bond that's formed in the military. It's tighter than family. Guys that you were stationed with for a long time, it is a tighter bond than family. Like, it really is. I think of those people more often than I think of any family member I would ever think of. And it's a different kind of bond that's formed. And so that day of getting to go for Memorial Day, while it is bittersweet, it's also great because I get to see some friends that I might not have seen for a year. So, but that's my take on Memorial Day. It's just not a happy holiday. And everybody's like, hey, go in and get a case of beer, enjoy you can do a Memorial Day cookout. I'm like, no, fuck off. You gonna do a Memorial Day cookout? Yeah, we're gonna have the whole family down, we're gonna barbecue and this and that. I'm like, good for you. This thing is so good. If you guys watched the video that went up yesterday, the 7 deadliest knives, the self-defense knives, this is in there. I put a link to this specific knife. I honestly think that this, like I said, the best Spyderco they ever made. It really is. And Spyderco's made a lot of really good knives. Will B, you know that cold steel counter. I'm sorry, no, double agent that you got me, the double agent one, the recurve. That's in a video where I was like, cold steel has a lot of great knives. Like if you were to look at home runs in the knife world, cold steel would probably be Babe Ruth. But that one you got for me, that's a fucking foul ball. That was an off the tip foul down fucking third base line. That knife sucks. How's your wife, by the way? Will B's wife is sick. Yeah, that cold steel double agent, that's a foul tip down third base into the stands. Probably hit a kid. Kid's got a caved in head. Talk like this from now on. I used to be normal. I went to a baseball game. Got hit in the head with a ball. That's how bad that knife is. It's pretty fucking horrible. It's bad. Apparently Mike Pence, the least memorable vice president, is launching a presidential campaign. I don't know. What do you mean? What do you mean, WTF? Okay, so while I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan, I am a Cleveland Indians fan. And I and a couple of my friends, high school time frame, might have been, I think it was my senior year, we got season tickets for the Cleveland Indians. And we would drive up to games for home games. The season. And I had a ticket and everybody's like, why was your ticket so much cheaper? And our seats were all in a row in the same area. And my ticket said VO. And I didn't know what that meant. Do you know what VO stands for on a ticket? View obstructed. There was a beam that was down, like just on the right. Like I had to sit like this at every game. You know why? Because I have a cousin that was deaf. And he now has cochlear implants. We used to mess with him all the time. We used to show up at his house and we'd look like we were talking. And he'd just lose his shit. He'd be trying to play with his hearing aids. And he got the cochlear implants. I walked into his house one time when I was doing that shit. It don't work anymore. I got the thing. I can hear you. I know you're faking. He was deaf. You ain't crazy, you guys. You're always messing with me. I have a cousin that's deaf and you don't get a pass in my family. You don't get a pass. You got a disability, you get fucked with. We just now have ammo. We used to fuck with that dude relentlessly. I heard a comedian say it too. Like he had a cousin that was like that, and he was like I never thought of it, but it would be amazing. He was like, we used to give the dog peanut butter, put peanut butter on the roof of the dog's mouth. And it was his friend or his cousin. And I was like, I heard it. And I was like, we used to do the same shit to my cousin. And he was talking about, it's like, so you get to the house, you put peanut butter on the dog. What the fuck is the dog doing? Because he can see the dog doing, and he's like, the dog is going ape shit, but he's not making any noise. He got the dog all wound up. And I laughed about that. And I sent the clip to my cousin, and we were talking about it, and I sent the clip to my cousin, and he called me. He was like, you know how much money we could have made if we had made a skit of that and done it on the internet? And I was like, right? Like if we had been the comedians that thought of that. And I was like, I wonder which one of our other cousins talked to this guy. Because I'm like, I don't know if he actually had that happen, but it absolutely sounds like me and my cousin. And I was like, I wonder if someone else from our family told him that story and he added it to his comedy routine. You don't get a pass. We had We had a neighbor named Dutch. Not a neighbor. Okay, so we used to camp along the Tuscarawas River when I was a kid. And there was an old guy named Dutch that had lost a leg. And he had an artificial leg, right? We used to steal that dude's leg all the time. We would take his leg. He'd be sitting in his wheelchair because he didn't like wearing his artificial leg. So a lot of times he'd be in his wheelchair, but like you can't like ride a wheelchair around down at the river. So he'd sit in his wheelchair, and they had like a little path that he had around his little campsite. And then if he was going to go to any of the other campsites, he'd put his artificial leg on. We would steal that dude's artificial leg and put it different places all the time. We fucking set it up and put plants in it so it looked like a vase the one time. You don't get a pass. We were horror. That's how we grew up. And everybody did it. It was hilarious. It wasn't, and he thought it was funny. Like he'd get mad at first. He's like, God damn it, where the fuck's my leg? It's just how I grew up. It was different. The sense of humor and things that are acceptable back then absolutely wouldn't fly today. My ex-wife's brother has Down syndrome. He was a jerk. People would look at me like I was an asshole for saying, oh, I have a friend whose kid has got Down syndrome. He's like 19. That kid's an asshole. He is, and his dad is like, yeah, that kid's an asshole. And the whole thing, his dad says it too. He's like, it's because everybody lets him get away with anything. So if you're just dropping in, drop a like. I'm gonna be dropping out here. I don't want to stand too much longer. It sucks to sit that whole time, but now it sucks to stand. I don't know. I got stuff I got to do though. But there is a video going up at 4 p.m. today, and then there'll be 2 videos going up tomorrow. I was going to talk about some sharpening stuff. That's right. I forgot to tell you guys. I'm going to try and do some sharpening videos when my knee feels better. But what I wanted to ask you guys, do you want me to do them like this, like a live? So that would be something we'd probably do on there's going to be a live feed this Saturday too. And I think I'm going to do a giveaway, but I will make sure I announce that. That'll be done. Chocolate covered espresso beans. That'll be done studio software with the whole thing. I'm going to do a giveaway this weekend. I'll show you what we're giving away. It's going to be a subscribers only live feed. It's going to be subscribers only. So I'm going to try and get it out, but I'm going to give away where'd I put it? There it is. The CJRB kicker. So this is, I'll show you exactly what we're giving away. This is the CJRB kicker. A lot of people have asked about the CJRB recoil lock. It's got the recoil lock. Say, would you like a chocolate covered pretzel? They're a little bit melty, but man, are they delightful. So the kicker, the CJRB kicker with the recoil lock, which is like their version of the compression lock. I was not a fan of it, but I'm going to be giving this away on Saturday. The only problem with chocolate covered espresso beans is then you got like coffee grounds in your mouth. The other problem is you wind up wired out of your frickin' board. So, yeah, I'm going to give this away. This is basically new in box. I forget. This might have been Rocky that sent this to me. I can't remember who sent this to me as a giveaway. But I'm giving that away this Saturday, I believe. I don't want to say we should bring back bullying, but we definitely need to harden some of these motherfuckers up. I mean, we don't want to send anybody running for the razors, but we definitely don't want people crying because they say words are violence. I don't want that. I don't want the extremes. I don't want complete lack of it, but I also don't want like we get to a point where, you know, folks are sucking the lead out of a revolver. You know what I mean? There has to be a happy medium. We got it. It was fun and it was done in a fashion. It was not like crazy. My daughter does this all the time. She did not close the bread. Now I'm gonna have an entire loaf of stale bread because my daughter doesn't ever close the bag of bread when she's done. Every time. Yeah. Like I see what's going on in the world, and I'm like, that's because we didn't bully. We were told that you couldn't punish your kids, and you're told to stop bullying, and you can't have any fun, and you can't say anything about anyone, and it turned everybody into soft, entitled little pricks. So, and I'm not happy about it. Like if I went home and my dad said something to me and I looked at him and was like, words hurt, he would have been like, oh yeah? How'd that feel? That hurt. Words? They're just words. Sticks and stones may break your bones. If you don't shut the fuck up, you're going to find out. And I'm like, Roger. This could be why my live feeds keep getting demonetized, but you can still make fun of straight white conservatives and Christians. I mean, there's nothing to say. So, guys, I am gonna end this. I want to get this stuff cleaned up before my wife and kid get home. So, thanks for hanging out, guys. Check out the memberships. If you haven't, we've got a lot of stuff going on. I am going to give away a very nice knife to the paying members here before too long. It's here. I've got it. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I'm going to give them a very nice knife. It is possibly one of the best knives to get released this year. I have an extra one, and the paying members are going to get one. So right there, that should tell you like that price of the membership. The baseline and premium guys, it's worth it. It's worth it. I've given away a lot of stuff for the paying members. I don't do it as often as I'd like because the fact is stuff that has come in that would be giveaway stuff, it's got to hit a certain criteria. Like I will give stuff away on the channel that is absolutely not anywhere near as nice. But the stuff for the paying members, because they are paying for content, they get the top end stuff. So, guys, if you haven't dropped a like already, I'd really appreciate it. I'm gonna go get off this leg, and I think I need to ice it again. So I'm gonna get out of my wife's kitchen and out of her way so that she can clean this stuff up. Guys, I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comments section, please. I've had to do a lot of scrubbing of comments lately. Not so much that I care what you say. It's more along the lines of interacting with each other. I don't really care what you guys say in the comments section as long as it's not like stuff that YouTube is going to take action against. So I check all that. But what I'm saying is, like the way you guys interact with each other, calling each other names and stuff like that, I'm not going to tolerate that because it makes it an ugly spot. That's when I talk about keeping it clean in the comments section. A lot of times, it's absolutely based on how you guys are interacting with each other. If you see a comment that you put up that then doesn't exist anymore, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be based on you used a curse word or you said something about me or you don't like the channel or you don't like what I said or anything like that. It's not going to be that. There are certain keywords that I have to keep out of it. YouTube won't let me put them in. They basically have a list of like 2,000 words that you can't really say or use. But 9 times out of 10, it is one person calling another person a name or insulting their intelligence based on their opinions. That is not a good way to conduct yourself when you're having a discussion. Calling someone names does not lend credence to your point. If someone says something and then you go in and say, well, that's just because you're a fucking idiot, that lends no credence to your counterpoint. That just basically is like you have no valid counterpoint to make, and so therefore you just insult that person. I don't want that. Please don't act like that. It's one of the biggest things that's wrong with this country is you can't have a discussion about anything because the second you try to state your opinion, someone else decides to call you an idiot and call you names, and then that makes that person mad. And a lot of times the person that was calm and quiet and has their opinion put out is also the kind of person that's not going to tolerate that and will come smack you in the face. So if you haven't dropped a like, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to end this. 114 minutes. My knee's starting to hurt. I love you guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you. I will see you guys Saturday. There will be a live feed Saturday. We'll do it in the studio. We'll get it set up. Depending on how busy I am Saturday, we will probably do a members movie day this weekend as well. I don't know what all's going on, but I do have to I want to get ahead on some filming and stuff. So I think tomorrow and Friday I'm going to film, but Saturday we'll definitely do a full-on live feed in the studio, bells and whistles, the studio software. I can bring guests in and stuff like that. So I will see you guys later.